as they get off the grid here. Going to be a great start from pole position. Kyle Wyman does exactly what he needed to do.
Are you watching the King of the Baggers series this summer? It's been some exciting racing. Really picking up from last season, the battle between Harley and Indian continues with these big baggers on racetracks. It's really fun to watch. If you've not seen it, you can catch the races on the Moto America YouTube channel. Unfortunately, this season, they make us wait a whole week from the race to see it for free. So they want you to subscribe and pay them to stream it live. But if you wait a week, you can watch the complete races for free on their channel. So we have a new service bulletin for these new Harleys, as well as some new parts, like this new 135 cubic inch kit for the 121 cubic inch variable valve timing. So we often wondered, was the variable valve timing motor going to be left behind? Would we not see any performance upgrades or anything for it because they moved away from it with many of their new models? But here we go. Coming down from the King of the Baggers, we have a 121 cubic inch kit to 135 with variable valve timing. So here's our new kit. It's really the whole top end of the motor, but we do get a couple things in addition. You can see we have a new cam plate and oil pump. It doesn't state what the percentage of increase of flow is, but I assume that's what we're going for here, and I assume the cam plate is more rigid than the previous one. So here we go again, cam plates and oil pumps once again. We also get a new header pipe. With each of these kits, they always offer a header pipe that is supposedly tuned for the upgrade, but indeed it has the catalytic converter still there. I'm really not sure what you gain with these header pipes, but I know all of us are not excited to receive yet another header pipe with a catalytic converter installed. You get new pistons, new rings, new materials, a new intake that is larger with increased air performance. Is quite the kit. So for $4,500, you will gain 29 horsepower from the stock 121 cubic inch and 10 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going to 144 horsepower with the new kit and 149 foot-pounds of torque. For $4,500, completely covered under warranty, I don't know, might be some fun. So speaking about performance gains for these new 121-inch motors, we also got our first ECM modification. Impact Wiring Solutions has released an ECM tuner for these bikes. It's the first one that I've seen. So it claims that it'll give you full access to the variable valve timing settings, as well as all the other general horsepower and torque settings. So you can adjust your fuel tables, remove the speed limiter, and etc. All the goodness of an aftermarket tuner. So it's early yet, and I've not really seen any reviews of it, but at least we finally have a product out there. We also received a few additional parts with this release. Starting with this Performance Forged touring wheel. They have both the 18-inch rear and the 19-inch front. And you can see it's got black with the orange highlights. So if you have the orange Harley, this would fit really well. It's also offered black with the machined highlights for the dark platinum owners out there. It looks like a good wheel, and if you really want to go wild, you can get it in full chrome. We've also got some new heated hand grip options. So these work right for any of the 24 road glides or street glides, or the CVO models, and even the 23.5 CVO models. Remember, the CVO models come with heated grips other than the ST model. And then the road glides and street glides do not. So we finally have some additional options for heated hand grips for these new bikes. We got the switchback heated grips in black, and then the switchback in chrome highlight. And then they've gone back and now they're offering the Kahuna collection for these new bikes with the heated option in black and chrome. We've scored a CVO style rider backrest. If you've been looking for a backrest option, I know many of you've modified existing ones or been able to mount some of the Harley ones. But now we have one that is designed more to go with the new CVO seat. So if you've been looking for this, you now have a backrest option. I think what they need to do is work on a passenger pillion backrest that aligns with that CVO seat. We have yet to see that one. This addition also appeared in the new lineup, lights for the saddlebags. So when you open your saddlebag lid, it'll illuminate the contents of your bag. You can see here a picture of them installed. It's a pretty small light for such a big saddlebag. I also looked at the instructions for this, and you really have to route the wiring through and drill holes, and really it's kind of evasive, I think, for a simple light. I think I'd rather just use a simple flashlight to dig around my saddlebag at night. One of the last parts we received were axle nut covers, something I've been looking for. I've been digging through Amazon looking for something that would fit. With this inverted fork, we have an open end on either side of the axle. So to put a cover on that, you need something that fits in the inner diameter. And I've just not found one. Maybe you have, and if you've got one that works, put it in the comments. Many of us are looking for it. But Harley is now offering us an option here in both black, chrome, and with the Willie G logo. Harley has released a service bulletin for these new bikes, and they're entitling it Center-Cooled Wire Harness Support Bracket Running Change. That's quite the title. It's M1652. If we look at the bulletin, it shows that it's for the CVO models and the Road Glide and Street Glide, so these new touring models. It consists of a plastic mounting clip to hold the harness up above the transmission. So if we look at the pictures here, you can see that it simply clips in to the hole of the frame, and then it holds and clips that wiring harness up off the back of the transmission. If you remember, we had an earlier service bulletin early on with these bikes to put a wire tie there to pull that harness up, because the harness was dipping so low that it was getting rubbed by the belt and actually fraying the harness and creating quite the mess for that owner. So Harley is now using this plastic clamp to hold that harness up. Now they're very clear that this harness is not a recall and it's not a warranty item. So you can't run into your dealer and expect them to give you one. This is only a design change for bikes going forward. So bikes rolling out of the plant are going to have this clip on it. And this bulletin is just to inform dealers of this. Some of you have been looking for an option to attain this clamp, and there is no part number for it thus far. So there's no way to order it currently, but it is showing up on the new bikes. I want to thank HD Rider CT for sending me a photo. This is what it looks like. If you've not checked your wiring harness where it crosses over, I would take a look. And if it's sagging, put a zip tie in place. You need to hold that off that belt or you're in for a true nightmare. There's been a lot of issues with the wiring harness on these new bikes. So I was at my dealer yesterday and some of these new parts are starting to arrive. And I managed to pick up this one, the axle nut cover. I got mine in black. Here's our cover. You can see the clips will hold it in place. We'll push it in. Takes a little bit of force. And there we go. A much better look having that cover covering up that exposed axle. Some updates from the world of the new Harley Davidsons. I sure hope you found this information useful, and if you did, you go share it with someone else. But until next time, in the friction zone.